Welcome, dear students. As I'm dealing with the breeding methods in self-pollinate crops, particularly the selection without hybridization. Now come to second method is pure line selection. This is a wonderful method even today for developing new varieties in self-pollinate crops. Many times I have explained what is pure line. Again, I am repeating. It is a progeny of single homozygous self-pollinated plant. Means whatever a variety you have developed, whatever seed you have produced, you are producing, that is the progeny of a single plant which you have selected. So here I would like to tell you that what is the application or use of this method. Of course, we all are knowing that we are using the methods for developing new varieties. But where can you exercise this pure line selection procedure? So you see, as in case of mass selection, your base population is what? Is local variety, indigenous variety, or desi variety? What do you call? So as you know that now, after coming in use this pure line method, the developing new varieties through mass selection has been stopped. So we are using to improve the local variety. This is application of this to developing new variety through this method. Or developing a new variety from old pure lines where this variability has come. Mind here that once variability is available in pure line, that pure line is not now a real pure line. So there also the pure line which has become variable, there also means old existing pure lines are also being improved for developing new varieties. Or sometimes you are introducing genotypes or varieties from other countries to your country. There also you are exercising pure line if variability is available. So you are developing new varieties. So if you see the achievements through this pure line method, it is a lot of achievements you have. Lot of varieties in self-pollinate crops have been developed through this pure line selection, you can say. Say for example, if you go way back to this introduction of CIMMYT, many wheat varieties in early days, and in those introduced varieties, two very popular varieties, Kalyan Sona and Sonalika wheat varieties, were developed through pure line selection. In almost all the crops, you can say, so many popular varieties have been developed through pure line selection. You see that I wanted to tell you about this mustard, though it is often cross-pollinated, but we are handling this since it is self-fertile. So we are handling it as self-pollinated crop, not as cross-pollinated crop. So here also a very popular variety which was prevailing for many years, maybe more than 30 years, it was popular among the farmers, the mustard variety known as Varuna. The variety, the local genotype was taken by the breeders of Kanpur, Chandrasekhar Azad University, Agriculture Agriculture and Technology, Kanpur, which was known as, in early days, it was known as Patthar Kalis. So breeders took those materials and made selection, and that was the wonderful variety. Varuna was developed. So today also we are able to develop many outstanding varieties through pure line selection method. So what is the characteristic of pure line? You know that since it is a progeny of a single plant, so whatever plant you are having in this pure line variety, all the genotypes of all the plants are similar to that plant from where it has been selected. That is one. This is the characteristic of pure line. The second is that whole population is uniform. Since it is homozygous, so fully homogeneous, so it looks also very, very good. Farmers like this variety. Even consumers also like this variety. This is the characteristic of this. This can be said the advantage also. And if you see the advantage along with the characteristic, if you talk to characteristic, one thing more you can add, that in due course of time, though there is no variability in a real pure line, but so selection in real pure line will be ineffective. If some variability is seen in real pure line, that is all environmental. Say for example, in somewhere you have shown, or by mistake, you have given more fertilizer. So same genotype has given different result. So this may be the reason, but in real pure line there will not be any variability. So whatever selection you are making in real pure line, that will be environmental, that will be ineffective. So this is the characteristic. The third characteristic you can put, advantage, disadvantage I will be dealing later on. So third characteristic you can see that in due course of time you are getting variability in this pure line also. How? Once you are getting variability, real variability, genetic variability, then it is not now pure line, this has become mixture of pure line, as you have seen in that case, princess variety. So how this variability is obtained in your real pure line? Of course, you are knowing very well, because of the natural outcrossing which is happening up to 5% in case of self-pollinated crops, because of mutation, because of polyploidy, even because of some mechanical mixture, you are getting variability. So this is the characteristic, all these three are characteristics of pure line. I'll be dealing merits and demerits later on. I've already said about achievements and applications, use, that where you can use, of course we are using it for developing variety. But whenever you are going for mutation breeding, you require pure line, because you need homozygous line for seeing the effect of the mutagens. Otherwise you will be confused if it is a heterozygous population, it is not pure line. So you will be confused whether variability is in next generation because of mutagens or because of heterozygosity was there. So this is very important, very useful to be used as new variety, to be used for mutation breeding, to be used for hybridization program. As I said many times that if you are going for hybridization, you must have homozygous line. So this is the best line. This is pure line. Or sometimes if you need to develop isogenic line, here also you require pure line. This is the best material to be used to develop new isogenic line, different isogenic line. So purity is required to see the effect of a single gene. Your material is homozygous, then only you can see, by incorporating a single gene in your pure line, you can see the effect of that particular gene, if your material is pure line. Otherwise you will be confused. So this is uses and application and achievements. Also I have said that many crop varieties have been in early days developed through this method, by improving the local varieties, by improving the old pure lines, by improving the introduced lines. So now let us see the method of selection, how you are doing it. So you know that what is base population in pure line selection. Base population, the first year you are growing your base population. What is base population? Your local variety, indigenous variety, or introduced variety, or even old pure line which has become mixture because of the variability. So that you are growing in your research field. Here in first year you are growing in first year, and then you are seeing the variability, and that variability should be genetic. So what you are doing for that, you will be experiencing that. How many plants you are selecting? Theoretically, you are saying you are selecting 200 to 3000 superior plants, different plants. Why 200 to 3000 superior plants? Do we need this 200 to 3000 superior plants to proceed ahead for developing new variety? I disagree on this. This is theory. This is theoretical once you are writing your examination. This will not work in the field. You will miss a lot of things. Say for example, if you are having a local variety, you have brought a local variety seed in your research field, you have grown it, and you have got a single plant which is very vigorous. Lot of tillers are there. So many qualities you are seeing in that a single plant. Should I search 200 plants? 3000 plants? Then only should we proceed for that? No, not at all. Practically, we will fail. So come to practical. Even you are getting single plant in this base population, you select that. So I will be very practical here, not theoretical. I'm writing theory, no problem, which you are getting in your books. But for a breeder, for a real advancement, if you are not getting 200, you will leave it. No, you have to select. If you are getting a single plant, you select it. That is enough as per pure line definition. You see, a single plant is enough for developing a new variety. So select that plant. Maybe more, no problem. If you are having 200, doesn't matter. You select them and harvest them separately. Here, as in case of mass selection, you are selecting similar plants, similar outstanding plants. But here you are selecting different types of variable plants, superior variable plants. So they are all variable, so you have to select them, harvest them separately. Whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 200, 300, whatever plants you have got, superior, variable, you select them, harvest them separately to grow their progeny row in next generation for progeny test, so that you can see the quality, genetic potential of that particular plant which you have selected. Say for example, I am putting example of only one plant. You have got one plant here, you have selected it, harvested separately. In second year or season, whatever you say, no problem. Second year or second season, you are growing progeny rows. See here, individual plant progeny row, one line you see here for first plant, second line, second plant, here, first plant, second plant, third plant, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever plants you have selected, individually you grow the progeny of each selected plants. Say for example, you have selected 7 plants from this population. So you have grown 7 rows. Or one row or 2 rows, 3 rows, no problem, of every plant. So this is called individual plant progenies. So once you have grown individual plant progenies, you will see the worth of the progeny plant on the basis of the progeny test. This is progeny test. So you remove the undesirable progenies. Maximum you are going to remove it. Say for example, if it is looking poor, this progeny is looking poor, you remove them. And you select those progenies which are looking outstanding. Say for example, this is plant number 1 progeny, plant number 3rd progeny. Here, if it is superior looking progenies, you select them. And you harvest this progeny. Once it is homogeneous, all plants in progeny 1 is homogeneous, means homozygous. In row number plant progeny 3, all homogeneous, then it means it is third plant was homozygous. So if these two progenies are superior, you take it. For yield trial, so you harvest progeny of 1 separately, progeny of 3 separately. This. Mix all seeds of all plants of progeny row 1 are bulk, all plants progenies of plant number 3 are bulks. So these two are separately, which is outstanding. So separately this has, so it means you among these selected progenies you have selected 2, which is showing superiority. Now you test it. You have seen the progeny test. Now you go for testing in third year or third season. These two lines, these two progenies have to be compared with the check varieties. So go for preliminary, this is called preliminary yield trial. Preliminary yield trial. So go for that along with check varieties. So once you are finding among these two progenies, progeny 3 is not good, you remove it, and progeny 1 is good, you keep it. It is looking better than the check varieties, you take it. And you reject the inferior progeny. So now you have selected, you have got progeny 1 is the best over all the check varieties. Check varieties what? The local check, zonal check, national check, all you are putting in this yield trial, preliminary yield trial. So once it has shown the superiority, you try to test your disease, insect, pest qualities, whatever is required. You test all those things also in your preliminary yield trial. It is better before sending in all India coordinated trial. You must test at your station also. So during this trial, you test for quality, you test for disease resistance, you test for insect pest resistance, you test for drought resistance. All, if whatever possible you can do, you do. Otherwise, material may be rejected if it is found very susceptible to particular disease. It will be rejected in first year itself. So then you harvest it. Then, as many times I have said that in all India trial, there 3 years trial is done. IVT, initial varietal trial, AVT 1, advanced varietal trial 1, AVT 2, advanced varietal trial 2. So you as a breeder, you found that your progeny number 1 is outstanding in all respect. You are sending this. If it is rice, you are sending it to Hyderabad in an Institute of Rice Research. If it is wheat, you are sending it to Karnal in an Institute of Wheat and Barley Research. If it is barley, also in Karnal. Likewise, for every crop you are having in an institute. So you are sending your material. Once you are sending your material to in fourth year in all India trial, coordinated trial, so they will be coding it, and they from whatever material has been given by breeders of all country, the whole country, that will be coded and that will be sent to all the centers of the country for its testing in IVT, initial varietal trial. So say for example, altogether 64 varieties or genotypes, whatever you can say, have been sent to the Indian Institute of Rice Research. So they will be coding it, and then all 64 varieties will be sent to all the centers for its initial varietal trial. Once it is tested and found superior in throughout the country or in many states, in many zones, so that will be promoted in if in all all the zones, it will be promoted to ABT1 for all the zones. If it is in single zone comprising of 3-4 states, it will be promoted for that particular zone. Your variety is promoted. So first year, this is fourth year, coordinated trial, IVT, then promoted to fifth year, ABT1, then if it is found suitable, promoted to ABT2, that is third year, advanced varietal trial 2, third year. Once found suitable, superior, all tests are done in ABT1, ABT2, agronomical. In coordinated trial, it is done automatically throughout the country. Your variety is tested for disease, pests, insects, quality, drought, for everything it is tested, apart from this, including your the main target, this is yield. So everything is tested and found superior, then promoted to ABT3. If found superior, then final in ABT2, you can go for identification as a national variety or as a zonal variety. You can go for that. You for sixth year itself, or if it is delayed, you can go in seventh year. For seventh year, seed multiplication of that particular line which you have developed, as well as you give the proposal for its release and notification. Notification is done by CVRC, Central Variety Release Committee of Government of India, Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India. So your variety is released. Once your variety is released and notified by the government of India, now officially your seed chain of that variety can start: breeder seed, foundation seed, and certified seed. There is no problem. So this is all about the method of pure line selection. Now come to the merits and demerits. If you talk about merits, you can say that variety which you have developed is superior than the variety which has been developed by mass selection. You can easily understand why, because you are doing progeny test here. There you are not doing progeny test. So scientifically you are moving here. That is why it is assumed that the superiority will be higher as compared to the mass selection. Here purity is much, the plant population is, all plant population, the whole population is very homogeneous, homozygous and homogeneous. So it is liked by the farmers and consumers also. So this is second advantage. Third is that once your certifying agency, while seed production, once your certifying agency is coming for certifying your seed, so that is also very easy. Once population is similar, you will be happy that you will not be confused that there is any mixture. If there is any mixture seen, that can be rogued out. If a small mixture is seen, that can be rogued out, and he can easily certify your seeds. So these are the advantages that you are having: higher improvement as compared to the variety developed through mass selection. Your variety is homogeneous, homozygous, looking good, liked by the farmers, liked by the consumers. For seed production also, it is easy for seed certification agencies. So these are the advantages. What is disadvantages? You see, if you talk about the stability and adaptability, it is less adaptable and less stable. Stability is also less. because environmental fluctuations on such varieties are higher. Why? All the genotypes are similar in this variety. Once a new race is coming, will destroy all the plants in that. As you are not seeing in mass selected varieties, where variability is existing, genetic differences are there, they can adjust well as compared to the pure line varieties in environmental fluctuations, because there some different genotypes are available, so they can adjust easily. They are more stable, stability is more in that, stability is less here in this. One thing more, that here you need one more year for testing the progeny. You are putting that one more year. Here the time and energy of breeder is required more as compared to the mass selection. So these are the differences. You can differentiate mass selection and pure line selection. So this I wanted to discuss with you about pure line selection. This is all about today's lecture. Thanking you very much.